Hi, it's Josh Goldberg here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about something called evaluative conditioning. Okay, and for those that watch the channel, you'll know that I don't often rant and vent about anything, but I can tell you that being involved with someone that has evaluative conditioning from trauma or past abuse is so frustrating and irritating and hopeless. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what evaluative conditioning is, how it affects people, and how it affects relationships. Okay, so if you identify with anything in this video, please leave a comment below. So let's take a look at what Google says evaluative conditioning is. Okay, so the definition here is evaluative conditioning is defined as a change in the nature of a stimulus that is due to the pairing of that stimulus with another positive or negative stimulus. Okay, so the first stimulus is often referred to as the conditioned stimulus, and the second stimulus as the unconditioned stimulus. So what does this mean? So what it means basically in basic terms is that a person as an adult now, they determine a situation based on a conditioned situation that they had in the past. Okay, so say for example, a child grew up in a home that was very toxic, and they were basically punished for asking questions. So this is the conditioned stimulus. Okay, this is the conditioned response. I ask a question, I get punished. Now as an adult, if this person hasn't healed this trauma and changed and corrected their thinking pattern, when they need to ask a question, it can become a traumatic situation. They can have all of the same trauma emotions, and they can basically expect punishment and perceive pain that is going to come by asking this question based on their past conditioning, okay, in childhood. And to be involved with evaluative conditioning is really hopeless because it basically sabotages conversations, and there's nothing that the listener or the participant in this conversation with the other person that has evaluative conditioning, there's nothing that they can do about it, because the person is going back to a negative situation in their life where they were conditioned in something that was unhealthy, and they're applying that same thinking and that same result to the here and now, which is obviously very unhealthy and hugely frustrating because there's nothing that you can do about it. And it sabotages conversations. It destroys any connection that there would have been in the conversation. And the person that has evaluative conditioning also, they can also choose other things that happened in the past that they perceived as negative or as a rejection or as something traumatic, and they can even refer back to that in the present times in order to expect failure, expect punishment, expect negativity, expect negative reactions from other people. And for the person that has this evaluative conditioning and they're connecting to negative things in the past and basing what's going to happen now on that negative situation in the past, it is hugely detrimental to them as people, because it stops them from acting effectively and doing healthy behaviors and doing what's needed in different situations in life. Another example of that would be, just say a person grew up in a home where they were constantly shut down and they were constantly not believed and they weren't given a chance to talk and they were basically silenced. Okay, so this is the first stimulus, the conditioned behavior of, I can't talk because I'm going to be silenced and no one's going to believe me and I don't have a voice. That's the first stimulus. So now imagine as an adult, the person gets involved in an abusive relationship with someone that is a creep or a pervert or, some type of sexual predator or something. if they haven't healed this evaluative conditioning and overcome this childhood trauma and change their thinking patterns, they're going to be stuck in this situation because they're not going to be able to think and feel like they're going to be able to talk to anyone about this situation and get the help that they need, because they're referring back to this first stimuli where they were made to feel and think. Okay, they develop thought patterns that I can't talk out because no one's going to listen to me. I don't have a voice. No one believes me. I'm punished for talking and asking questions. So this evaluative conditioning basically stops a person from doing what they need to do now because of something that they were conditioned to think and feel in the past. And it's incredibly unhealthy. It keeps people in abusive situations. It causes conversations and relationships to be sabotaged. And for the other person that's dealing with this evaluative conditioning in a relationship, it's extremely irritating and frustrating because this evaluative conditioning thinking and behavior in conversations, it sabotages the conversation, and there's nothing that the listener can do about it because the other person's already making their connections to their unhealthy past, to the present, and there's nothing they can do about how the other person feels or what they're thinking. So it just often leads to frustration and irritation and just feeling like the conversation and the connection was totally sabotaged. So this is evaluative conditioning. It certainly causes disconnection and gets in the way of healthy conversation and healthy connection. So if you're dealing with evaluative conditioning with someone in one of your relationships and you would like to know how to handle it for yourself in order to basically stop being involved in frustrating conversations and also to be able to help the other person to correct this way of thinking, please feel free to reach out. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos.